Gdolph. Not a lot to say, to be honest. We had a conversation on the squad about continuing with the shit that we were doing with him as a coach. It was a little indifferent. There wasn't any like I mean, Dees and Jen weren't super adamant about having him on board. I'm definitely not either. Listen, I appreciate his knowledge of the game. I think he helped us in a few ways. But at the end of the day, man, the vibes on the squad are the most important thing to me. And if anybody comes on here to screw that up, intentional or not, I don't think they need to be around. So we didn't tell him to kiss our ass or anything. But I think for a week there, we were kind of indifferent about how we wanted to go about it. And then he just left. So we were like, all right, fine. Which, I mean, it is what it is. It's not always going to be a perfect fit, right? But I wish him the best. I still think that he did great things. But that is the update on old Gdolph. Man said a joke, or was it more? It was a couple things, but that was pretty big for me. I mean, that's about all that I need. I think that a coach, like, in what you give me a world in any sport, in any competition, and I mean ever, where a coach goes into the room, talks to the players, and they're an hour before kickoff in any competition, and the coach is cracking jokes about players going on to different teams. I don't know, man. I think that as a coach, you need to have better vibe than that, man. That's just not. I have never seen that. I've played so many sports. I've been coached. I've been a coach. I've never seen that in my life. I just can't have a coach that feels comfortable enough to say that type of shit before like, what? I mean, like, that's something at most you bring up off stream. You don't do it on stream in front of all those people in that light. And a lot of people disagreed with me on this. I don't care. It's not your team. It's our team. It's me, Jet, and Deeds. At the end of the day, if me, Jet, and Deeds aren't vibing and we feel weird about the way he brought that up, then we're gonna make our own decisions. And 100%, it was a team decision. Did I initiate it? Absolutely. I asked him, I said, listen, do you guys feel comfortable with this? Because personally, I don't think a coach should ever be saying anything like that or bringing that up on stream, especially before a tournament. And if he's going to, that should be an off-stream conversation, and that's it. And they both completely agreed. So we're exploring other options as far as coaching, because we definitely want to coach. We definitely want to coach. We want an official coach. I do agree. I come off a little aggressive. I've always been that way. Like when people start like upsetting the establishment in some ways, I don't take kindly to that. I'm very, very quick in that way. I've always been like that. So I probably could have handled it a little bit better. But at the same time, I'll never stand for that. Like it's different if it's like Hal or Drac, like we're playing ranked and they crack a joke. But dude, it's our coach. What? Why would he ever do that? I can't wrap my head around it. The joke was that, for those that didn't hear it, the joke was he said something about Deeds and Deeds' skill. So he was complimenting Deeds, and then he said that, Nick, you need to be careful, man, because people are going to catch on to how good Deeds is, and they're going to try to pay him a lot more than you, and then he's going to leave to go to a different team. So you need to be careful with this guy Deeds. They're going to try to poach him. And we are an hour before playing the tournament. I'm like, and we're on stream. Listen, I understand that it can be a joke. I just don't think it's from a fucking coach. I just don't get that. Well, why would you bring any of that up? Again, dude, I don't go to bed hating this guy. I don't. I think that he brought good stuff to the team. I thought we learned a lot from him. And I told him 2 or 3 times that ideally I wanted to keep on, going forward with this. But after he was comfortable enough on stream to say those types of things, I think we need to find a different coach. And there's this whole other thing that I never talked about as well. G never seemed 100% like super adamant about being a coach. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but he's very good. He's a very good player. I mean, he's phenomenal. He used to be a pro. He got screwed over, which also like that kind of didn't make sense to me either, man. Like, why would you bring that up when like 2 of your teammates just screwed you over? The whole thing is very weird. But anyways, he's a very good player. And I think that he wanted to play, like he doesn't want to be a coach, but he knows that he could be a good coach because he's a former TSM coach. He's been one. He's done a lot of great work. So I think that he wanted to help us out, but I don't think he wanted to do a full coach. You know what I mean? I think he still wants to play is what I'm getting at. Jack, can we agree on one thing? Listen, I agree that I may have like overpressed him a little bit. You know, I'm just that way. And I told him in a DM, I apologize. You know, if I came off a little strong there, right? I really wasn't trying to, you know, be too much of a dickhead. But I feel like you left me no choice by saying all that shit. Can we at least agree that as a coach, an hour before a fucking tournament, in any light, in any capacity, that's weird? Can we at least agree? Like, no way, we don't agree on that, right? Like we're an hour away. Okay, thank you. I just want to, and again, I don't want any hate to go to this guy. I think he's a great guy, and I think that he's just a little bit weird. You know, I mean, we all are, and we say things sometimes that, you know, it might get blown out of proportion, and maybe it was a little bit of that. But you know, it is what it is. We're definitely not going to have him as a coach